All right, I'm not exactly sure why uh, YouTube is wanting to go with this orientation. I had it going the opposite way, so I guess we're going to have a video that's like this instead of in landscape mode. So we're gonna have a portrait live, so that's gonna be kind of fun. So I guess people that are on phones, mobile devices, this is going to look great. If you're watching on a computer screen, it's probably going to look kind of wonky. So I apologize for that. Next one, I won't be, I'll figure out what a proper solution. I'll do some troubleshooting and see what I did wrong. But anyway, welcome back to Atypical Vagabond. This is a live. I haven't done a live, I guess, in about a year, maybe a little bit longer, but figured that it might be a fun way to kind of just chat with you all, kind of see what you all are wanting me to create in the future. I know that I've done some stuff in the community tab, and you suggest that you want to see more travel vlog type content. So there'll definitely be more travel vlogs in the future, but I'm also wanting to try to provide you all more value to living life and whatnot. So I'm trying to think of different ways that I can provide value to you that's besides, there's this destination, and because like anywhere that a travel vlogger is going, it's where a travel vlogger has already been. So I can do content like that, but I've been also, like this past year, I've been concentrating on more culturally and talking about more of the Portuguese culture, since that's where I'm currently residing, and talking about those things. And as a result, I've seen some major growth in the channel. Last year, I wanted to double up on my subscribers. I was able to hit that. Oh, hey, Homer Simpson. And you love Elvis Presley. Awesome. Anyway, so Viva Las Vegas. So I've hit that metric that I was going for the past year. I'm up to 800 subscribers now. The goal by the end of this year is to double that. That's kind of what I've been going for each year, is just to double what I have. I'm hitting the metrics for views and everything, so everything is looking great on the channel, and it's been very exciting. I recently got monetized over a month ago, and was able to get like super chat. So anybody that wants to help support travel vlogging with this channel, you can do a super chat, and it'd be greatly appreciated. I'll let you, I'll make a little announcement. I'll pop up a little thing on the screen and everything for any super chats. Hello there, Hanan2. How you doing? So as I was saying, that it's really exciting, and I'm really trying to build engagement on the channel also. So there's some other things that are there. Oh, hey Larry, what's up, brother? Yeah, go Chiefs. Yeah, so this this is kind of my signature thing at home. It's I was born in Kansas City. I'm a rabid Chiefs fan, so you know that the Chiefs being in the Super Bowl for the third time is very exciting for me. I've lived through like the worst of times when it came to football, because the Chiefs, for growing up for me, had completely sucked. So it's amazing to see the Chiefs having a winning culture now. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm sure that the rest of my audience is like, and hating me for it. But it's all good fun and being a good sport about things. So yeah, I love the Chiefs and supporting them from abroad. You know, it's miles and miles away, an ocean separating us, but still love the Chiefs. That's one of the things that I absolutely love. If there are any questions that you have for me, what it's like to live like a digital nomad, um, anything that you have of like, I don't know, what's the weather like? That's a thing that's might be different. Maybe it's something to talk about because like last year, the weather here in Coimbra, Portugal, was extremely wet and it was very, very cold. I think that it rained from every single day from December to maybe February, and it's on the colder side. This year, it's been rainy, but it's not been as bad until today. We had some major, major storms. Being in Kansas City, I've seen tornadoes, I've seen crazy stuff, but the amount of water that has dropped in here this morning, how quickly it was, it reminds me of some of those insane storms just by like how quick this water dropped. So it's pretty wild. Uh, so, what is one advice that I would give to my younger self? Oh man, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about my younger self. I'm like writing up another script for like my next video that's coming out. So I was thinking about. I did some stupid stuff as a kid, and some of us all do. So like when I kind of like embraced or started to embrace the digital nomad life, and maybe not so much the digital part, but the nomad self. I took off at a young age when I was 18. I lived out in California, and I just lived a nomadic life of like living on the West Coast. So I embraced it, but that was one of the things that was probably a massive learning experience for me, just from because of how difficult it was. I didn't know how to budget. I didn't know about budgeting. I didn't understand money or how I would need to make things work and live a reasonable lifestyle. So it was quite difficult for me. Some of this living as a nomad back then, I found myself homeless, and then had to like work my way up into a role that I can live in today. So the thing that I would give as a suggestion for myself is really to work harder on those digital aspects of my life, to work on programming. Like I grew up as a teenager, I was learning Pascal, so I knew how to program. Even before that, I was working on DOS prompts, so like I know how to work command prompts and everything from the get go. So it's I've always been tech savvy and found that it was important to network with people, and that's where with networking with people was what got me into networking in the digital realm. So like doing a lot of servers set up, switches and firewalls, and doing cybersecurity within those protocols and stuff. It's a lot of stuff that I ended up being self-taught with. So like if I was to give a thing to me, is just maybe take things a little bit slower, not rush through life. Like I want, the thing that for me is like I want what I want when I want it. So, and I was much worse at that as a teenager. So it's like I was impulsive and I just would go. And being impulsive is great, but finding that balance between impulsiveness and spontaneity is important. Because like I'm still a very spontaneous person. I sometimes it's just like I want to go to Lisbon. I want to go to Madrid. So I want to go to Toulouse. So like I just go. So having that balance and learning to budget and be able to make these things work in a reasonable way is important. So what else? Yeah, yeah. So like do yeah, younger people do stupid stuff, and I think that's a way that we learn where our place in the world is. So we kind of are able to explore, learn what works, what doesn't work, and really it's not just as young. We still make mistakes, or if you want to call them mistakes, we learn our lessons throughout our lives in order to live the lives that we want to. So it's not right, wrong things per se, but it's finding out what works for us, what really fills our souls and things. So this if you're new to this channel, I concentrate on living a life abroad as a digital nomad. So I do highlight a lot of the places that I see here in Europe. So like I do some things that are on specific locations. I try to concentrate on a little bit of a cultural aspect of this also. So it's not just a, this is this, and this is pretty, and this is that. It's a little more depth to it in the aspect of this is kind of a little bit about the culture within Portugal, if it's at the moment culturally or in the past culturally, because there's a significant amount of history here. But then at the same time, it's like, how do you make living a life as a digital nomad a reality? So this is the things that I concentrate on with the providing value to you about how can you live abroad? How do you live this lifestyle? Because you can't just go and move to a certain country on a whim. There's visas that you have to have. There's how are you gonna? What's the cost of living? What is the expenses that you're going to incur as a result of living there? What's the logistics of going from place to place? How do you get housing? How do you get healthcare? Those type of things. And like I've been living here in Portugal for almost 3 years, and been able to move about and explore the world. So it's been a phenomenal experience. I've learned a lot living here, and I might not know everything, but that's okay. I get to talk to people from many different cultures here in Coimbra. I've been working with an international community, or maybe working's a loose term, but I've been developing friendships with an international community here in Coimbra that is absolutely beautiful. It's neat to just see and listen to other people's perspectives and how they believe things work for them. So it's kind of nice to have a fresh perspective around the corner, no matter where I am listening to other people. So that's kind of what the channel's about. I'm also thinking, I don't know if this is something that you all would be in, but I was thinking about having more interviews with people throughout the year. Ideally, I don't know if it would be like once a month, but maybe once every month, having having somebody have a perspective of whatever, maybe it's some of my Portuguese friends of what does it look like to them for Americans coming to Portugal, or you know, something else. I mean, like there's other people of like other expats. What is the or immigrants, what their perspective of living in Portugal is, or wherever I meet people that are willing to do an interview. So those are some of the things that I was thinking about in that regard too, just to kind of have a different texture from time to time. I think that having a specific content that just like is in like a box, like if it fits in a box, it kind of becomes stale. But like if you break outside the box, there's these new venues that you can go through. So I'm just kind of thinking out the box, and figured that I would see about what you all thought. So yeah, all right. So I kind of spoke a little bit about where the channel's gone. So like, I think that like last year I had like around 400 subs. So like I've doubled that, and my goal for this year is to gain twice that. Is what I said. So I'm looking at around 1,600 by the end of the year is kind of what my goal is. Whether I make it, whether or not, who knows? But be something that I'm striving for. I think that having goals is something that's important to drive you towards success. So let me see. I wrote just a little bit of an outline here. So what else do I want to talk about? So language, yeah. So like I've been getting some comments recently about different programs with language. So one of the questions that recently was asked with language is about the university classes, and wondering if the A2 class would allow you to go through the citizen process, or like to hit the check mark for the language. And the reality is that the A2 course at the University of Coimbra does not provide you that ability. There are quite a few different government programs that allow you to do that, and they're actually free. So that's something that if you're wanting to become a Portuguese citizen, you've already gone through like the digital nomad or the visa process. Like that's something that you'll want to do. But that's yeah. So that's something with language, and language is very important. So I think that like when you're living in another country, you kind of need to embrace the culture. One of the difficulties in embracing the Portuguese culture to the fullest for people, one of the pitfalls I think that many Americans have is learning the Portuguese language. So if Portugal is on your list of places to move to, I'd highly suggest learning the language, to learn Portuguese. It's like European Portuguese is difficult in the sense of it's hard to hear the words that are being pronounced. So some of what you are going to have a problem with is learning the words that are being spoken to you, and that's probably not going to happen until you're living here, because there's a major difference between Brazilian Portuguese and the way that it's spoken, and European Portuguese, and that's fine. And there's even a difference between Portuguese from the north and the south, Portuguese from Madeira, the Azores. The way that the words are pronounced, it's very difficult for me living here for 3 years to understand what's being spoken sometimes. Most of the time, I think that I normally get like 50 to 60% on the first listen, and then I kind of am able to fill in the gap of whatever the topic is after that, and then I'm able to process it. So it takes me a little bit longer. I'm not fluent in it, but I do have an understanding of the language. So like yeah, so like the Portuguese language is very, very important. So I've met some great people. Past year, I've been playing a lot of football. So like been playing for American people. That would be soccer. So been playing football with them with a bunch of Portuguese guys. So like I get to listen to them speak, and it's helping me in the aspect of hearing the words better. Because there's the major thing that's different between Portuguese or European Portuguese, Portuguese, than Brazilian Portuguese is that they have closed vowels. Brazilian Portuguese, the vowels are all open. There's some letters are pronounced a little bit differently in Brazilian Portuguese. D's or G's, so it's like bom dia, or T's or CH's, so ciao. So listening to Brazilian Portuguese versus regular Portuguese is difficult. And then there's also they kind of connect the words together when they're speaking, which is kind of similar to people in New York speaking English. A lot of the words just kind of to get the words out faster. So there's a lot of that here in Portugal with the Portuguese being spoken. So a thing to really recognize with the pronunciation of Portuguese is to understand that when they're taking a breath, that normally that's going to be a pause. So that might be the first sentence. So you might hear us do, and then and so like you're like to be. So like you start understanding things, understanding the words that are being spoken or hearing the words that are being spoken. So it takes a while. Thank you to Talented to Speak Portuguese. I wish that I was a lot better, and I'm sure that a lot of, or many of the Portuguese around me would wish that I spoke Portuguese better. But I know that they at least appreciate me having the willingness to try to learn the language, which I think is important. So yeah, spoke about playing football. So it's one of the things to also like stay healthy. So it's a nice fun activity to partake with other people in the community and get to know the other people. So food, I've had. There's a lot of food that's good here. There's pizza, there's hamburgers, there's cozinha portuguesa, there's seafood, there's all kinds of diverse types of food that can be eaten here. But mostly at home, like I try to maintain a mostly vegetarian lifestyle. Not out per se. It's just easier to eat vegetables and fruit. So I spend time going over to the mercado every week and getting fresh vegetables, getting fresh fruits. And whenever I go out to eat, I eat meat there. And I eat a whole lot more nuts. One things that is interesting, didn't quite enjoy walnuts per se in the United States, but living here, the walnuts here are fantastic. There's completely different texture, taste, everything. So it's kind of wonderful to have a varying diet, and that's one of the things that's culturally for me that's it's quite different. And the thing is the Portuguese, they have a meat centric diet too. So it's not that I can't eat a ton of meat at home. I mean, I could do that if I wanted to, but it's just something that I kind of embraced when I moved here. We lived in a small apartment. It was only like 20 square meters, 200 square feet. So it was tiny, especially for two people. And cooking meat, when you cook meat, there's a smell in the air, and then in a small area, that smell becomes stagnant, and then you have like cleaning stuff, making sure everything's clean in a tiny place. It just, to like decrease the level of stress, it just made more sense to only eat meat out. So that's kind of how I ended up going through that process of or making that decision. So it's just going through that habits and such, and it's just easier to stay that way. Like every day that I wake up, I'm grateful for living here. I wake up and I can see the university from my window. Whenever I'm in my office here, I look up and I have the monastery to look at, and I have Santa Reina Isabella looking down on me. So it's quite beautiful. I love it. There's a lot of green year round. I mean, there's a lot of leaves that have been dropped this year or this time of the year, being winter, and it's already feels like it's starting to warm up. So it's kind of cool that spring almost feels like it's in the air. Maybe here in a couple more weeks, it'll really start feeling like spring. Safety. It is very safe here. I live in Coimbra, and it's different than in say like Lisbon or Porto. And Lisbon and Porto are both very safe too, but they're bigger cities, and it does seem like those cities are experiencing a little bit more crime recently. Maybe it's just due to the fact that the COVID lockdown's done and everything's back to normal. But yeah, it seems like there's more crime in those cities now than there have been in the past. And I don't know the reasoning for that, or if it's just something that I am making up inside my head. But it's just something that it seems like right now. So yeah, so kind of talked a little bit about the culture here. It's fantastic. Love it. And oh yeah, I ended up buying a car. And it wasn't something that I intended to do, but ended up selling the old car that we had with another couple. Ended up buying another car outright. So that's something that was fantastic. Gives me some more opportunities to explore rural Portugal, get out to these small villages that are pretty in their own right, has their own unique feel and everything. So it's kind of cool to be able to do that. So traveling. Let's see. So I did do some videos on the Camino de Santiago. Walked from Porto to Santiago, of course. And I was thinking that it'd be fun to do another walk here soon. One of the other walks here in Portugal is the Fisherman's Walk. And that's down in the south in the Alentejo. So I was thinking, I think it's like 5 days or something, a week. So I was thinking about maybe going on a walk there. I figured that it would be a nice way to reset and maybe show you some of the beautiful beaches that are down in the south. So yeah, so that pretty much sums up what I was kind of wanting to do for a live. I know that I just threw this out there on the fly, but I have another live set up for next week on Wednesday for me, it's 8 p.m. So that's for Eastern, that's 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. So let me see. So I know that there's not many people on here currently, but if you're watching this in the future, you'll still be able to make a comment onto the live here. So if you have a better time to get on here, let me know in the comment section when you would like to have a live. I can schedule this at different times. It's just trying to find a way, a time that works for everybody. And Wednesday at 3 o'clock is probably not the best time for many people in the U.S., but it's 8 for me. So if I do it at like 10 o'clock here, it ends up becoming 5 o'clock for y'all. So maybe that's something that would work better for you all. But yeah, just let me know in the comments section. Also, just a reminder, I have became monetized, and so like I can accept super chat. So if you want to have your name pop up onto the screen and everything, you are able to do a super chat. And yeah, let me see. So that's something for that like is a little bit of a thank you. So anytime that pops up, I can thank you all. So let's see. Yeah, so I think that I kind of hit everything that I was wanting to talk about. I've had a few people on here today, so I want to thank you all for popping in here and spurring the conversation. And next week, let me know some topics below about some stuff that you'd like me to discuss. The next video that I will do is on, let me see. Yeah, the next video is budgeting. That'll be coming out. So like for those that are members of Atypical Vagabond, I put out the videos a day earlier for you all, and I appreciate you all for subscribing and joining in on supporting Atypical Vagabond. It's those members that really help me out, so I really appreciate you all. And yeah, so like if you have any specific topics that you want to have me address, drop them in the comments section and let me know. But yeah, so I figured that this video, I'd only have it go on for about 30 minutes, and I was able to chit chat here with you all for 30 minutes. Figured maybe if it went on for an hour, that would be pretty good. But let me see if there's anything else. Did I miss anything? J. Yeah, we all. Yeah, yeah. So if you're interested in living the digital nomad lifestyle, it's something that is totally doable. It's something that takes commitment, and you have to really budget your time in order to keep yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically in good standing with yourself. So it's you need to find balance as with your lifestyle in order to get all the things that need to be done in your life. So that is kind of where I think I'll leave it. I'm kind of running out of steam, so kind of talk. So I hope that you enjoyed this live. If this is something that you like more, just hit the like button. And until then, I'll catch you on the next one. Atypical, y'all. Oh, hey, practice warriors. Mr. Christopher, I see that you're there. I was just about to pop off here, but you wanted to say hello. It is fantastic to see you. And hey, I was talking earlier in this. I think that you just popped in, so you might have missed it. But I was talking about possibly doing some interviews in in the future. So you're definitely one that was on my mind of talking about whatever, just living life and what it's like to be an immigrant in Portugal. All right, yeah, I figured you would totally be down. I know that it'd be something fun. I'd figure whatever we do, it'll be a nice little fun activity of trying to put something together. So I'll get with you off of the YouTubes and discuss something. Another Go Chiefs. I appreciate that. It's been a fun season, and I guess that's something that I didn't talk about on here. So for other people that were on here, having other Americans living in Coimbra, it's kind of natural that we all have our own football teams that we love and everything. So you have the practice warriors here. Christopher, he's a huge Rams fan, and his better half is a Steelers fan. So then we have like some Bengals fans, and we have some Broncos fans and Texans fans. So it's kind of fun that we get to have a little banter between each other in real life. So it's a fun way to have something to talk about, just to break the ice with each other. But yeah, so that was something that was fun that we got to do for Christmas. Some of us got together, and I'm wearing my Chiefs hat, my Mahomes jersey, and others are wearing their Steelers stuff and Bengals stuff. So it was a nice little NFL Christmas together, since they had some NFL games playing that day. But yeah, so you have DAZN that you can watch a lot of the NFL games, and the big thing is time zones. Time zones are a pain in the butt. So like when it comes to the Super Bowl coming up, yeah, I think I can't remember what time it was last year. Was it midnight? I think it was midnight that it started. And I think the game didn't end until about 4 o'clock or something. It was a late night for me, needless to say. But living as a digital nomad, that's one of the obstacles also, is time zones and being able to talk to people that are in a different time zone in order to work with your clients and everything. So being able to build your workflow in order to accommodate people from different time zones is important. That's one of the things that I have to work through in order to get things done in a proper way in a proper time frame. So yeah, so that was some of the stuff that I was thinking about. And yeah, go Chiefs. Yeah, I think so. Um, yeah, got to stay hydrated. Yeah, the other thing, the way that this live went, like the live wanted me to stay in this orientation, so hopefully it does not look too bad over there. Next time I will have things go in a landscape orientation. Maybe it's just me. I like the landscape orientation better than the portrait. uh, so it just looking at the screen, it kind of irks me. But yeah, so I think that that was a good wrap up of where the channel is, where it's going, and I said Atamaya, and you know what? This time I mean it. Atamaya. I'll catch you on the next one, and until then, ciao.